Good morning, video audience. I got my crystal on for this one. I just don't have the right angle. It seemed to be a special request. So good morning, video audience. For those who don't know me, my name is Bryant Hess, and I understand myself in the context of an extraterrestrial contactee, and I'm from Portland, Oregon. Sometimes I'm really worried about government accountability. Moments like this, I'm worried about government accountability, and at least there's still enough freedom for me left here in the USA that I can get up and do a video. I'm certainly not going to criticize monetary policy and rates right now. I'm not an economist, right? And sorry, Nerami, that seems to get on our minds sometimes, and we don't seem to want to think about economics together usually. But that brings us right to the center of the issue with medbeds and the medbed drama. I recall, I was in contact with a mantis aquatic hybrid being. He said he was called. He's from the aquatic hybrid group. I'll give a link in the description to. I learned about them from this woman on social media before she was driven off social media for whatever reason. She's off social media for whatever reason, and she's still on the internet at all. One of the extraterrestrials I was in contact with mentioned. Sorry about that. What is this? What does this even have to? What is that black monk? It says, forgive me. It's like the black monk from the Blue Moon group at the NSA seems to be interrupting my thought patterns right now. It's like, why are you interrupting me, black monk? I don't see the need to bring particular people into this. This is obviously going to be really controversial for industrialists and industry. Why do we need to bring particular people like that into it? Right, because you're not out there in outer space looking out for the interests of landed elite like that, are you? You're not. You didn't go on some long term. I mean, what do they tell people about you? Is like you went on some long term space mission, or then with the time differential by the time you're out is further than Saturn or Jupiter. Why not look at is that humanity 6 months ago, or how long does it take to get past Saturn or Jupiter? Right, because forgive me, when I get interrupted with the names of particular industrialists like that, I go, you're not looking out for. I'm worried you're not even looking out for human interests anymore in the Black Monks program. You're above we humans, aren't you? You're above we mere humans, aren't you? Does this go right to the center of the issue with industrialists who think of themselves like a demon, like I am a demon? It's like, no, sometimes demons a being that does bad karma, even if some people believe in good demons. Why does it make it a good demon to them? Here we go. Well, no, and so I can't trust the Black Monks program at the Blue Moon group, because sometimes they just jump in here like a feel. I will say, here we go, like a monster from outer space, like some kind of monster from outer space with an anti-gravity gun. Can't trust them at all. Sorry, Nerami. Sorry, Mantis, we got off topic there. All right, so the Black Monk. Without even employing psychotronics technology. I've spoken about psychotronics technology. That's machines that modify the human mind before. Sometimes people call them mind control technology, but maybe there's more to psychotronics than mind control, because we all want to control our own mind. I'll just keep telling people that's the key. Take control of your own psychic life. Take control of your own spiritual life. Empower yourself, and you can summon good spirits. You can summon spirits that are good to you, and they'll help you take control of your own mind if you feel your mind controlled. We wanted to talk about medbeds today and the medbed drama. I'm sorry, I just got off topic because that's such bad karma to be like on this quest in outer space to destroy humanity. That's such bad karma. Okay? That's such bad karma that Space India is going to want to send out, with Space India pause, they're going to want to send out like 10,000 Hindus after, sorry about 10,000 Indians, because there's lots of people in the Republic of India tolerated who aren't Hindu, even if it's still a majority Hindu country. Going to want to send out, so I'm sorry with the demographics, there's going to be like 8 Space Hindus and 1 Sikh maybe. And they're just going to want to send out pods after pods until the Black Monks are retrieved or something like that. And see what's going on with I'm sorry. Did one of my Lyrian contacts the other day say something about erasing the human stain? Was that like a shtick one of the Black Monks put on? Because that doesn't sound very funny to me. That seems like, are you checking to see if there's a misanthropic geek or misanthropic enough geek? Because I noticed I was deeply horrified by that. We wanted to talk about med beds and the med bed drama with Mantis today. Before I got so uptight hearing the name of a particular industrialist from the Black Monk. Ugh. And that's going right to the center of the issue, though. That's going right to the center of the issue. It's going right to the center, though. That's going right to the center of the issue with technology as advanced as the med beds can be. I mean, Mantis said that they don't have enough med beds to deploy them widely, where they can't open up. I'm sorry, it turns into this awful video game in my mind right away, where, you know, even if, see, on the one side with humanitarians, they might say, you know, Mantis, why, you know, do you not have enough med beds for everyone in humanity? I don't think they do. I don't think they have enough. And that could completely replace some medical care people have. It's like corrupt industrialists who, I don't want to say, might think of themselves as like demons preying on, we non-demons? No, I mean, what's going on there is just like, you know, industrialists like that corrupt elite, I would call them. I would call that if that's a real industrialist. Corrupt elite, I would call that. It's like they would want like a person with a chronic condition to be going to the hospital, for example, for like an anti-inflammatory drug, like a special anti-inflammatory drug for somebody who had an inflammatory condition. Like they think of like once a week treatments in the hospital that cost, you know, say majority of the person's budget, depending on, here in the U.S., depending on their state and whether they have healthcare support in our state. Now, Mantis, you're clear on this. I thought I heard Mantis communicating to me there that they're certainly not rooting for communist atrocities because they're immediately accused of being communists for supporting. So, I mean, that's where the rhetoric goes in certain audiences that are attached to industrialists, I might say. Is that where the rhetoric goes immediately? It's like where everyone is communist who supports people having access to like universal health care. This is beyond what universal healthcare could provide currently. And I'm hesitant to bring political issues into this with what's been going on in my day. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that right now. Oh, is that right, Nerami? Do you want me to repeat that? Okay. Because I thought I heard Nerami say something there, or communicate something there to me telepathically. One of the Nerami beings I mentioned before was communicating with me that he wants to encourage moderate Republicans to be cool. Just be cool. Just be conservative if you can. Oh, here we are again. Because so in your conceptualization of this Nerami, like a conservative could go in, could show up to work and go, yeah, you know, I want to see like industry revolutionize the way that human ET cooperation could revolutionize industry in a way that could be good for people's health care. And it shows that they really don't have a profit motive. Because there are going to be those out there who want to protect people that have a profit motive, and this technology, I mean, if this technology was available to humanity, it's like that's the rapid drug synthesis, Mantis. Right, it's not quite like Star Trek with the is what you described. It's not quite like Star Trek with what do you call it? The thing that's not quite like the teleporter, where the Enterprise, it wasn't quite like the Enterprise had to take on food at the nearest starbase, and then it was teleported up in a miniature teleporter into like something that replaced my microwave here. A replicator. The replicator, thank you. So it's not quite like the replicator, and the matter has to be from somewhere. I'm sorry about how human chemical synthesis works too, Mantis. I'm sorry about how current human chemical synthesis works too. Right. I have enough science background. We could talk about that somewhat, and then I'm going to have to go. I mean, you have to talk to. Is quantum chemistry even a field? No, there's no, because we're just talking about chemical bonding and electron orbitals and how that works together. And right, it's right. So the most that does is provide a clue, and I don't. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I was sorry to hear that the other day too. It's like apparently somebody would have said, Brian, somebody who had any idealistic tendencies, I'll put it that way, might have said, how Brian, how would you like being sent in a house, and the government pays for the house, and and I was only wondering for how many hours a day do I work in the interest of science with the ETs. You go, okay, I get up in the morning and I take notes what the extraterrestrial gives me or something like that. I certainly would have said yes, but what I was hearing was never in the United States of America could this happen yesterday. And so I certainly would have gone, all right, let's talk about this. I'll sit there, I'll take notes from what the extraterrestrial tells me with questions from scientists for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, in exchange for basic accommodations and housing. I certainly could have done that. What I was told, that's a simple fantasy, that's a mere fantasy scenario, and here in the United States of America, something like that's not possible, the way it is right now. But I don't know if are we not interested enough in the welfare of the citizenry? Because my understanding is Mantis, right? Thank you, Mantis. Was that like a Mantis consensus? That's good news. That's good news for us humans, because Mantis. What I thought I heard Mantis communicate just there telepathically was that Mantis preferred to see medical technology advance rather than weapons technology. And there has to be no strife. Do you think I should repeat that, Mantis? That's such a controversial topic. All right. All right. That could be another video entirely, and we need dramatic music for that one. And I'm going to try to have to be able to figure out the editing software enough that I can actually do dramatic music right there. All right. So for the humanitarians, there weren't enough med beds for the entirety of humanity, and I can already see where it's going with. I don't want to call them corrupt military thinkers, but I don't know what to do with that without corrupt military thinkers, where even if we had that, then it turns into, look how the Mantis are hurting us into these medical situations. I can already see the news reports. It's like, what do the Mantis want? Why are they here? Yes, and the spirits are with us. The spirits are with us, Mantis, and so it is. And so Mantis, do you think I should repeat that? So I thought I heard Mantis won't support Chinese human rights atrocities. Mantis aren't ready. Mantis are having like a clear no. So for anybody who called them communist about this, what I'm hearing here is they're not ready to go in and take Buddhists and turn them into a pile of sales to prove themselves to communists. Well, what was being depicted to me was different than Buddhists in an end-of-life scenario who might want to donate other selves to something. In an end-of-life scenario, this sounded like Buddhists who wanted to just go out there and do Buddhism without the supervision of the Communist Party. And certainly, I don't feel like I've ever been emotionally harmed by any kind of Buddhist. Even once I had like a teacher who was a Buddhist, and like even Buddhists get angry sometimes. All right, Mantis. Well, let's. Thank you, Mantis. Was there anything else that's important? So the gods are with us. The gods are with us. Is there anything else you wanted to communicate about? Right, and I'm also hearing no Israeli human rights atrocities either. I'm also hearing they're not going to go to Israel and take. I don't want to say. It's just wrong. I don't want to take Palestinians and turn Palestinians into. They're certainly not going to take jihadists and turn them into a pile of goo. And at the same time, can't stop Air Force drone bombings campaigns. Alright, so I'm hearing Mantis do nothing to discourage humanitarianism in Israel. As for Israelis who want humanitarian reforms in Israel, I don't hear Mantis doing anything to discourage that. Right, they're not ready to turn Palestinians into liquid before certain Israeli eyes. Like here, I'm turning the Palestinians into. I do. I remember the ethical dilemma we had with that once, where the battle where there was, it was being shown like a battle in the Middle East. It's tragic battle in the Middle East. It was sad. And then Mantis were depicting, it's like, do we just let the just instead of taking the bodies into like biomatter recycling, taking the bodies and turning these into useful organs, do we just have to let the bodies go to waste? And I thought, or go into the cycle. I would say the cycle of matter on Earth. But what do we do without we'll call it the waste cycle on Earth with the detritus and decay and everything. Right. I had left-hand path druid visions about those before, where it's just like how the. All right, Grand Druid. I know for some druids something like that is a topic mostly for their journals, although some. No, Grand Druid, no. I remember to be a left-hand path practitioner and a druid, there still had to be an ethic to it, Grand Druid. That's what one of the other Grand Druids taught me. Good morning, Grand Druid. And so for those who don't know me, I took a druid self-initiation about 6 years ago or so now. And I started summoning the spirits of druids to me after I started learning about alternative Western spiritual traditions, because I didn't feel like a druid had ever tried to force their ways on me. And so that made me curious. It's like, why don't I learn about the druids? All right, Mantis. And so there weren't enough med beds, because Mantis are known to possess advanced medical technology for healing. Medical technology that can be really advanced for healing, and has the potential to reduce people's healthcare costs if humanity gained access to that. Especially if humanity gained access to that, it means you could still be working with humans on a limited basis. I'm sorry. All right. All right, so Mantis clearly aren't here to protect the interests of industrialists with you, Nerami, where I don't see, and then I try to think about it from both sides, where it's like I don't want to drive business out of my country, but at the same time I care for the health and welfare of my people. I care about my health and welfare enough that I go, this would be good. This could be good for my country. If I'm thinking, I'm trying to put on that hat for a minute, so to speak, and I'm going, this could be good for my country, even if I don't want to drive business out of my country with truly repressive taxation. I don't want to drive business out of my country with truly repressive taxation. We need any taxation to keep. Here we go with anything we get out of the government besides national defense. Here we go. Right, that could be a really good thing for America and humanity. I mean, look how much happier well, I don't say happier of America. Look how many more happy Americans we have with their healthcare costs reduced, or with technology like this. I mean, here's where we could talk about changes. Well, I don't think there are major changes in the medium of exchange right now. But here's so. I'm gonna try not to worry about that, but I've thought about it before. All right, Nerami. All right. So the mantis aquatic hybrid being often travels with a Nerami, or they seem to associate telepathically with a being called Nerami. There seem to be two types of beings that respond to the name Nerami. This one I was told is called a bull Nerami, and not like the upright bipedal Nerami. It's not called like a bull Nerami in some audiences. And was that you, Talari? I'm sorry I haven't been able to make a drawing of you. I'm sorry I've been able to make a drawing of you. I want to do an illustration of this being who is called Talari, sometimes commonly called the swoops in the military, and they sometimes communicate with me telepathically here. I think I sense them there. Right, and the Lyran Council isn't going to march out of the sky in spherical UFOs or flying saucers or the other vehicles I've been associated with over the years. And this is so sad with pyramid UFOs right now too, with sort of Caucasian people in pyramid UFOs and what's going on there. And this might be aware of me too. The Lyran Council Lyrians, or Nordic type aliens as they're called, they're not about to fly out of nowhere like a flying saucer or a spherical UFO and say, "No, Mantis, no, you can't. You cannot advance human medical technology, you can't." They're not going to do that. They're going to say, "That's great. That's great. With human medical technology advancing, humanity can continue to advance." And here we are with where humanity is at ET. And where we go, where humanity is an advanced extraterrestrial race already that you might call Lyran or Nordic type, where you go, you look just like me, baby. They look so much like us, and I'm wondering, how genetically different are they from us? When I thought I got a good look at one for just a fraction of a second for what I mean a Nordic type extraterrestrial, I might call them. It's like, okay, you seem it's like you seem to have a very magnetic touch when they like touch my hand briefly or gently or something from whatever kind of, so I've called it a space-time scenario before that they've been in. And so Nerami here is trying to communicate to me. Nerami are doing nothing to stop Mantis either. And Nerami, sorry about what's going on with ideology. Well, if moderate, here we are with moderate thinkers, huh? All right. Well, was there anything else you thought I should talk? Was there anything else that you thought I should talk about here, Mantis or Nerami? Because no, because they're going to call that leftism, and even if Mantis aren't about to march out of the stars and say no, there's no spirit. I thought you were specific about that when we were communicating about possibilities for a video earlier today, Mantis. When I was outside exercising and doing what they might call chi work, what the energy Hindus would call prana. Sometimes I'm outside and I just like to do that when I'm walking around. I'll say it's good for my vitality. It feels good. It's good that there's a lot of trees in my city, and I'm grateful that there's like a lot of ambient prana in my city, and I don't live in like a desert area. Good morning, Grandma Aldebaran. I've written that I think I'm sensing a presence here who's associated herself with the star of Aldebaran before. No, you heard me, Vrelia. I know you heard me. All right, so it's good to have your company, Grandma Aldebaran. And good afternoon to you. It's like it seems to be another Nordic type telepathic presence I've sensed here before. I don't think she's just transdimensional grid work either. I'll give a link to that in the description, because I had, the short version of the story is after I was contacted by, I don't think she was an Air Force officer. I don't know what I can say about the program. After I was contacted by somebody who works for our government, I started having what seemed to be telepathic contact that said they were involved with Planet Era. And long story short, I've had two different versions of the story about that. And suffice to say, I think I had some kind of simulated contact with transdimensional grid work happening, possibly at the same time as what I might call like a real Nordic type extraterrestrial contact. And I don't think all Nordic type extraterrestrials are covert human groups that are out to manipulate us for various ends. None of them have ever tried to prevent me from supporting international diplomacy. No Nordic type no presence in my life that's identified themselves as a Nordic type extraterrestrial has ever jumped out of the work and said, "Brian, stop! You must not support or human rights." They've never told me you can't support human rights or you can't support international diplomacy. And so my name's Brian Tesson from Portland, Oregon, and I hope diplomacy prevails between what could be warring nation states. I hope diplomacy prevails. All right, and I'm just noticing another telepathic presence here. And so when I had the simulated contact experience, I would have like this flashing over my eyes. I don't know if I articulated that or whatever. There would be like a flashing. There'd be like a flashing over my eyes where I'd notice, and it didn't seem like the extraterrestrial was like right there, like touching me with an object. In their space time. Right, we got off topic there from medbeds. You were hoping I would speak about medbeds today, Mantis. I think you said you communicated something about that telepathically when we were outside. Right, and there aren't enough medbeds to gift to humanity. I don't think there's enough to give. So I'm hearing there's 35 medbeds total at least, deployable on Earth. And I'm hearing you can't give 6 of them to humanity to have humanity rip all 6 apart to make sure that they're all exactly the same kind of technology, and then reverse engineer, I think that's called. No, they probably know that already, Mantis. They probably know that already in that particular military audience. And so no, it's clear Mantis aren't here to preserve the wealth of certain dynasties who want, I don't want to say like a parasitic relationship between industry and humanity, where humanity serves industry and not industry serves humanity. Because with advanced technology like that, I can. Well, do we have healthier humans? Do we have here we go with healthier humans, more humans? And I'm so sorry where this topic is going to, because I need the dramatic music right away. And so I support humanitarian aid. I do. I support the idea of people going, I support humanitarian aid. Thank you, Elohim. So I sense the Elohim here, and I'm going, all right, sounds like they're doing spirit messenger work. No, Elohim, no. I didn't sign a contract with them for life. Didn't sign a contract with them for eternity. So I'm sorry to start to return to the topic of contracts and contractual obligations, and thank you, Elohim. Thank you, Elohim. And so no, I haven't sensed any Nordic type extraterrestrial, they might be called, any being that seems like they're like a Lyran or Lyrian, they might be called. And by that I mean like a human, not unlike myself, not like the cat people. So now somebody wants me to do some kind of idiotic video where I go out there on camera and I say, no, I've been mistaken the whole time, and the Lyrans are like tools of the cat people or something, and they want me to do something that preposterous. And basically, if there's anybody like that in my life, I just feel like, shut the fucking hell up. Okay, now that's a direct message from a telepathic controller. I thought I just was not completely of my own volition for a moment, and I thought like a Lyrian telepathic control just started influencing me. So It might be that from a Nordic extraterrestrial, for people who want me to do some kind of farce about the cat people, your message is shut the hell up. Because this is a really serious topic for us in our genetic engineering programs on the star seeds, isn't it? Is this really serious for the future of our genetic engineering programs in the star seeds? Okay, well, if somebody wants like some kind of farce where we have to do some kind of bullshit about the cat people, how Lyrians are going to genuinely feel about you is shut the fucking hell up and stay fucking quiet. Right. You can't expect like a happy, love, and light message if you're going to be that kind of person from the Lyrians. You know, they have a full range of emotion. They have a full range of emotion. Yeah, anybody who wants me to get out here and do some kind of farce about the cat people can shut the hell up. All right, and so that's why I don't want to call them the Lyrian Alliance or Lyran Alliance. Lyran Council, they're called in some audiences. They say we're called the Lyran Council in some audiences when I first encounter them associated with the Star of Lyra, and they appear very much like us. They appear very much like us, and because the majority of them that appear to me have been women, I do wonder about your relationship with the Vrilya. Because I think almost three out of 5 of the beings that have appeared to me and said that the Vrilya have been female. Actually, 4 out of 5 I want to say have been female. 5 out of 6. The majority of Vrilya were female that I encountered. I'm sorry, and by the end of the day, someone's going to be ready to say, "Shut up, Alpha Centauri." Right, and anybody having the will of Alpha Centauri drama might be having facing some kind of democracy from. Is this some kind of democracy from outer space? Because when do Centaurans or people who ever believe themselves to be in contact with Alpha Centauri people, or Cassiopeians for that matter, people who believe in human type beings from Cassiopeia, like some people believe took over the French. I was told some people believe they took over the French secret space program, and they said they're from Cassiopeia. When do either of those ever say, you know what you should do is to spend less time thinking about utopian idealism? And so that was like a direct as direct a message as somebody can get. Like if you want like a farce about the cat people now, like I forgot what I was just doing 20 seconds ago. Please be quiet would be generously putting that as please be quiet. All right, and I know the gods are with us. I know the gods are with us, and I thought this morning before I went outside, I thought I saw like a Taoist spirit. I thought I saw several Taoist spirits appear. I thought I saw like a Taoist master appear, and I wasn't walking the path of Tao in every step, but I thought I saw a Taoist master appear, and I never felt like Lao Tzu. If I ever thought I saw Lao Tzu, I never felt like Lao Tzu was trying to, like Lao Tzu was trying to trick me or anything. Here we go with what other people believe, and like, oh, look at they call them the unvirtuous teachings of Lao Tzu. I just go, oh, here we go. There we go. So I wasn't walking the path of Tao in every step. But it was interesting to study when I studied Tao. I studied Taoism. I started learning about Qi, or I guess it's pronounced Qi. In Chinese, that energy is pronounced Qi. Yes, and I don't know. I'd almost be surprised if one key master said it would be like the key to your existence. Haha. And kind of a double entendre. Well, I don't know, Mantis. Will they call it subversive? Will they call it subversive to say that humanity should have access to better medical technology before? By the way, here I go with who the detractors would be. Will it be? See, because what I was hearing, the message I was getting from Nerami is it was already being called like subversive in saying, oh, it's communist. It's just communist talk to say that humanity should have access to increasing medical technology this way. Isn't that just humanitarian talk? Isn't that just humanitarian talk? So the gods are with us, and I'm grateful the gods are with us. The gods are with us, and I know it seems like good karma to do humanitarian care sometimes. It seems like we all want to move toward good karma, away from bad karma or worse karma. This question seems like we all want to move towards what's good karma. Right, that's something that attracted me to the Druidry originally. It's like this, here we are fellow Westerners who accept this idea as being a good as being a good teaching. And so there are ways to know spirit. I mean, for people who've been agnostic, like I felt in my 20s, there are other ways to know spirit. I mean, you actually have to do something that you might feel like is kind of crazy, though. In the way Carl Jung might have used the word crazy, where you might have to like try magical ritual. And for myself, after several months of meditation, spirits started to reveal themselves to me. And I did, I'll say, certain practices used by indigenous shaman can really help people find knowledge of spirit also. I'll say that that's true. And there's something really awkward going on here with Lyrian telepathic controllers, where anybody who wants to a Lyrian telepathic controller to fly out of the sky and make Jews convert to Christianity, you might as well be smoking crack. You might as well be to put like a message like that in a Lyrian telepathic controller's computer system, or trying to send that message telepathically to a Lyrian, is like telling them you have your heart in the wrong place. Because if what they're doing wrong is being a Jew in front of you as a Christian, please do not attempt to contact Lyrians. And that was my message from what seemed to be a Lyrian telepathic controller. So Lyrians probably don't want to hear from you if that's you. Lyrians are probably going to be embarrassed of you if that's you. No, 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 because Lyrians also can't march out of the sky and tell pagans like the pagan gods aren't real and they're all Lucifer. They can't do that. Lyrians I mean, this is going to be like one Lyran's opinion is going to happen, where they're gonna have like Tyr, Freya, Woden, and Thor as the four primary Norse deities. Those are going to seem like different beings to Lyrians than Lucifer. Like Lao Tzu's going to seem like a different being than Lucifer. It's going to seem like it can't be also symbol that it's all just Lucifer. It happens to Lyrians. And this goes back to a really sad period in history where the Vrilya were becoming known, and the Theosophical Society. Yes, and so I've seen, I think the Eye of Hatred, some Taoist masters call it today. I think I've seen the Eye of Hatred today. That reminds me, I think sometimes there's one of the 72 names of God Jews practicing, as I can say, that helps. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I'd have to go get out my Kabbalah materials, where they call it casting the evil eye, to cast the eye of hate, or the eye, as some might call, to cast the psychic presence, this spiritual presence that many people have experienced. And there's like a Hebrew saying, when people who are when people who are engaged with Jewish spiritual tradition feel hateful, that they can say about this. Obviously, I'm not practicing and I wasn't raised Jewish, so maybe it's not my place to comment about it. I did. I do recall that I studied Jewish magic somewhat in the past. And it was interesting to study Jewish magic somewhat in the past, even though I wasn't practicing. Maybe I should leave that for somebody who's practicing to comment about. Because it was real. I mean, there was this one Hebrew phrase I could say that would really act on the spirit world around me, and then it was just clear, I'm not practicing. When I would encounter spirits around me, there was like a Hebrew phrase I would start saying, And it worked. It seemed to act on the spirit universe around me. So I'm very grateful for the spirits in my life, even if, right. So here we go with this non-traditionally Jewish spirit. I'll go with, because once you start saying the phrases, you're also not practicing, right? Once you start saying the Hebrew incantations, you're also not practicing. I mean, presuming you're not practicing. Sometimes these are phrases you start practicing Jews. I want to. Although yammering on about spirits, maybe another video. We could. Oh. Yes, Nerami. Thank you, Nerami. All right. So there. All right. So there. You think I should repeat that, Mantis? All right. So I think we mentioned that how there have to be 35 or 36 med beds in military intelligence's opinion. And that's right, and that's who's going to be obsessed with you as a military intelligence. All right, and helicopter pilots in the USA need more time off work. No, you don't think so, Nerami? I thought we were going to just make that. All right. And Lyrans or Lyrians having a technology transfer program with the Defense Intelligence Agency is, that's what the Defense Intelligence Agency personnel are wondering, I was told. And I almost want to say employed professionals at the Defense Intelligence Agency are going to be certain this is immediately going to happen in a foreign country, where foreign countries are going to have, what about me? And why Lyrans enable the West, and Western countries primarily, is going to be well, they're not only they can give up on India, they're not going to give up on India. Nordic type extraterrestrials aren't going to give up on India tomorrow. And immediately when the topic of technology transfer programs with something like the Defense Intelligence Agency between Nordic type extraterrestrials are out there, immediately what the Nordic type extraterrestrial has to consider is, what about the other countries I'm influencing? And this has to start being in the minds of everyone at the Defense Intelligence Agency level, everyone at the Pentagon level thinkers, is they have to have, what about the other countries I'm involved in? Because everyone on the internet, isn't everyone who can search the internet have the ability to at least form the suspicion that they're involved in other countries? It's like they're going to have, what about my offices in India? What about my offices in... So certainly going to have friends in Nepal. I'm certainly going to see Nepal and Bhutan are right across the way from this country where we've had, thousands of years of history. Well, good morning, Hamasuv. Good morning, Hamasuv. Right, and you said you were there sailing with them in ancient times. You did. You did. All right. Well, good morning to you, Hamasuv. Oh, I don't. Oh. Oh. All right, so I'm at liberty to talk about it, but you can't obviously talk about it, because I know there've been other people who did videos out there, but they're almost always voice modulators, aren't they? We talked about that project. All right. Well, I almost want to say thank you, Ancient Era Project. I always felt safe when Ancient Era Project personnel are online with me. Personnel who identify themselves with the Ancient Era Project are online with me. No, Nerami, I don't want to tell the Labyrinth group that you can just have your heart attack now too. Right, but I understood there was some kind of interaction between those two projects in like the Labyrinth group and the Ancient Era Project. Right. So the AI has to be independent of them. All right. And don't know how to help. Don't know how to help transfer Labyrinth group members to the Blue Moon group at the NSA. Help get them more oversight there. Just see what's going on with my forehead here, and I'm going, yep, they need more oversight in the Blue Moon group. All right. Right, because whatever happened with the personnel transfers, like you don't like working in, we can do the song now, where you don't like working in Palm Springs. You know, you feel like there's a lack of joie de vivre in Palm Springs. You want to get out to Chaco Canyon. You want a vacation to Chaco Canyon. Chaco Canyon's really beautiful. No, no. So no, something like that was going on the other day. What the hell was that? It almost looked like that damn poltergeist, and so I gotta get ready to do spin warrior kind of stuff. Right. Right, I do have a family story with one person who was like a Jew and a shaman. So it's not unlike shamanic spirit warrior stuff. So the damn poltergeist, I have to get ready to I have to get ready to I have to get ready to possibly fight it. So thank you God, thank you God. All right, Nerami. It's like the medbed drama. Like the medbeds could do a lot for humanity, and I appreciate that they're ETs who seem to want to help humanity lift themselves up into a more advanced society where we have access to better medical care. And I think that I feel like that's wise of Mantis to support increasing access to medical care before supporting any. Right, here we go with the advances that might be possible with the help of human understanding what we call the Higgs boson at CERN. There's still going to be problems in CERN next week. All right, well, please, I mean, no, I don't feel like I'm screaming it's all Mantis, because if people can't believe that spiritual beings really go into CERN, and that a spiritual being is like really in there, like influencing the wires, why not? Why not? Because then if you can't entertain the notion that spirit could possibly be an explanation to other critical thinkers, you've achieved a cognitive bias. I think it's called a cognitive bias. All right. God damn it, God awful poltergeist. Anyway, I might have to wrap this one up for a while. Let's see. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks to God. God. All right. I think we'll just call it. I think we'll just call it a take.